1 in 2 men over the age of 40 experience some degree of sexual dysfunction. By the time men reach their 50s and 60s, issues such as low testosterone, decreased libido, or difficulty maintaining erections are not the exception, they are the norm. Yet, for something so common, there is still a great deal of silence, shame, and misinformation. Men often find themselves searching late at night, stumbling across quick-fix supplements, or hearing half-truths about what might help. The truth is, the answers are not hidden in secret pills or miracle cures. They are often right in front of us in the foods we eat and the daily choices we make. Tonight, we are going to explore something deceptively simple but powerfully grounded in science: olive oil and what happens when it is paired with another ingredient in your kitchen. At first, it may sound too easy. Could something I drizzle on my salad really impact my testosterone levels or vitality? But here is what the research shows. Nutrition has direct and measurable effects on hormone production, cardiovascular health, and even erectile function. Think of testosterone like the fuel of an engine. Over time, the engine does not necessarily stop working, but the fuel lines may become clogged, the efficiency decreases, and the system struggles to deliver the same output. Hormones are influenced by many things: sleep, stress, physical activity, and nutrition. Olive oil, particularly extra virgin olive oil, contains compounds that not only protect the cardiovascular system, but may also influence testosterone production itself. And when combined with certain foods, it acts like a delivery system, allowing fat-soluble nutrients to be absorbed more effectively, giving your body the building blocks it needs to maintain hormone balance. This is not about promising an overnight transformation. It is about understanding the small, consistent changes that can shift the trajectory of your health. Tonight, I will walk you through the science of how olive oil interacts with testosterone, the role of dietary fats in male hormonal health, and which food combinations actually amplify the effects. Along the way, we will bust a few myths, look at studies you can trust, and end with clear, practical steps you can begin tonight. You deserve clarity, not confusion, and you deserve solutions that are based on evidence, not empty promises. By the end of this video, my goal is that you will not only understand the truth about olive oil and testosterone, but also feel empowered to take charge of your health with confidence and with knowledge that is grounded in research. Let us start with a simple truth. Testosterone is made from cholesterol. That may sound surprising, especially if you have always been told that cholesterol is the enemy. But in reality, cholesterol is the raw material your body uses to build steroid hormones, including testosterone, cortisol, and estrogen. This does not mean you should load your plate with fast food or butter. It means that your body needs the right kinds of fats in the right balance to keep hormone production steady as you age. Here is what the research shows. A landmark paper published in the Journal of Steroid Biochemistry and Molecular Biology found that men who consumed higher amounts of monounsaturated and saturated fats had higher levels of testosterone than those who ate very low-fat diets. Conversely, when men restricted fats too much, their testosterone levels dropped significantly. The key here is not more fat equals more testosterone. The key is the type of fat. Think of testosterone production like a factory line. Cholesterol is the raw material and enzymes are the workers. If you feed the factory low quality, unstable fats such as trans fats or heavily processed oils, you gum up the system, production slows, and the workers cannot do their job. But if you provide stable, nutrient-rich fats like those in extra virgin olive oil, you are giving the factory clean, efficient raw material. The line runs smoothly and testosterone can be produced more effectively. This is especially important for men over 50. As we age, the Leydig cells in the testes, the cells responsible for testosterone production, naturally become less efficient. That does not mean production stops. It means the system needs more support. Supplying it with high-quality fats is one way to give those cells a better chance at maintaining function. Another angle to consider is inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the silent drivers of hormonal decline. Poor dietary fats, like those found in deep-fried foods or refined vegetable oils, tend to increase inflammatory markers. In contrast, olive oil contains compounds such as oleocanthal, which act almost like a natural ibuprofen. By calming inflammation, olive oil indirectly creates an environment where testosterone can be sustained. So the next time you think about dietary fats, reframe them. Instead of good versus bad in a vague sense, think of fats as either supportive of your hormonal factory or disruptive to it. Extra virgin olive oil, with its balance of monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, falls squarely into the supportive category. Here is the practical takeaway. If you are a man over 50, completely cutting out fats in the name of health may backfire. Instead, focus on replacing processed oils with extra virgin olive oil. Use it to dress your vegetables, drizzle it over grilled fish, or even stir a spoonful into a simple evening mix with antioxidant-rich foods, which we will talk about shortly. It is a small shift that, over time, feeds the very system that helps you maintain vitality. And if this is helping clarify things, give it a thumbs up and keep learning. This channel exists to bring clarity where confusion often dominates. When we talk about testosterone, most men think about the brain and hormones floating through the bloodstream. But the real story begins in the testes, specifically inside tiny cells called Leydig cells. These are the factories that convert cholesterol into testosterone. As men age, Leydig cells do not disappear, but their efficiency can decline. That is why lifestyle, diet, and circulation become so important. Now here's where olive oil becomes fascinating. A study published in Natural Product Communications investigated the impact of olive oil on testicular function in animal models. The researchers found that diets rich in extra virgin olive oil supported healthier testicular tissue and improved testosterone production. The proposed mechanism. Olive oil's antioxidants, particularly polyphenols and vitamin E, help protect the delicate environment of the testes from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is like rust building up in a car engine. Over time, it damages the machinery and makes it harder for the system to run efficiently. In the testes, oxidative stress can injure Leydig cells, impair blood flow, and disrupt the enzymes needed to produce testosterone. Olive oil's compounds act like a protective coat of paint, slowing down the rust and keeping the machinery running longer. Another interesting finding comes from a human study published in Clinical Nutrition. Men who followed a Mediterranean-style diet rich in olive oil not only showed better cardiovascular health, but also had higher levels of total testosterone and improved measures of sperm quality. Why does this matter for men over 50? Because healthy testicular function is not just about fertility. It is directly tied to vitality, muscle strength, energy, and even cognitive health. Think of it this way, your testes are like small orchards. To produce fruit, in this case testosterone, they need good soil, consistent watering, and protection from pests. Olive oil acts like a natural fertilizer and shield, improving the soil quality and protecting the orchard from environmental damage. It does not magically turn a barren orchard into a lush one overnight, but over time it helps sustain growth where neglect might lead to decline. Here is a simple, actionable way to apply this. Consider mixing 1 to 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil with foods rich in lycopene, like tomatoes. Lycopene is another powerful antioxidant that specifically supports testicular tissue. When paired with olive oil, its absorption increases dramatically because lycopene is fat-soluble. This combination creates a protective synergy. Olive oil helps your body absorb more lycopene, and together they shield testicular cells from oxidative damage. So when you think about supporting your testosterone naturally, do not just think about what raises levels in the short term. Think about what protects and sustains the very cells responsible for producing testosterone. Olive oil, especially when combined with antioxidant-rich foods, is a powerful, evidence-backed step in that direction. And if this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. I want to hear what changes you are considering and what questions you would like me to answer in future videos. One of the biggest sources of confusion I hear from patients is this: doctor, I was told to avoid fats and cholesterol to protect my heart, but now you are saying cholesterol is needed for testosterone. Which is it? This question is not only valid, it highlights one of the greatest nutritional misunderstandings of the past several decades. For years, dietary guidelines pushed a low-fat, low-cholesterol message. The idea was simple: eat less fat, keep cholesterol low, and reduce heart disease. But modern research has shown that it is not dietary cholesterol itself that is the main culprit in heart disease. Instead, the problem lies in poor quality fats, chronic inflammation, and imbalances in the way our body processes lipids. Here is what the science says. A large review published in BMJ found no consistent evidence that dietary cholesterol alone increases the risk of heart disease in most people. In fact, the body tightly regulates cholesterol production. If you eat less, your liver produces more. If you eat more, your liver produces less. Where men get into trouble is when they consume trans fats or highly processed seed oils, which increase inflammation and cause harmful cholesterol particles to oxidize. Oxidized cholesterol is sticky, unstable, and damaging to blood vessels. That is what contributes to heart disease, not cholesterol in its natural, unoxidized state. Now let us connect this to testosterone. Remember, cholesterol is the building block for testosterone. If you strip your diet of all fats and cholesterol, your body may struggle to provide the raw material for hormone production. This is why extremely low-fat diets often result in decreased testosterone levels in men. At the same time, a diet heavy in fried foods, margarine, and ultra-processed oils does not support testosterone either, because it fuels inflammation, damages blood vessels, and reduces circulation to the testes and penis. Think of cholesterol like clay in a sculptor's hands. By itself, clay is neutral, not good, not bad. In the right hands, it becomes a beautiful and functional piece of art. In the wrong conditions, say if it is left out to dry and crack, it becomes useless. Cholesterol in the right context, supported by healthy fats like olive oil, can be used efficiently by your body to produce testosterone and maintain cell membranes. In the wrong context, oxidized and inflamed, it becomes harmful to your arteries. Here is where olive oil plays a critical role. Extra virgin olive oil has been shown in multiple studies, including research from the Harvard School of Public Health, to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease when used in place of butter or processed oils. Its monounsaturated fats improve the ratio of good cholesterol, HDL, to bad cholesterol, LDL, while its antioxidants reduce the oxidation of LDL particles. That means less inflammation, better vascular health, and a safer environment for cholesterol to be used as raw material for hormone production. For men over 50, the message is not avoid cholesterol at all costs. The message is choose the right fats, protect your arteries, and allow cholesterol to be used for what your body actually needs: hormone production and cell repair. By replacing butter or processed oils with olive oil in your daily meals, you are not only protecting your heart, but also supporting your testosterone balance. Here is a practical step. If you are used to frying foods in vegetable oil, make a swap. Use olive oil for low to medium heat cooking, or drizzle it raw over cooked vegetables, legumes, or whole grains. You will be protecting your arteries and feeding your hormonal system at the same time. At this point, you may be thinking, all right, I understand olive oil can support testosterone and heart health, but how much should I actually use? And what kind? These are smart questions because the details matter. First, let us talk about quantity. Research from the PREDAM trial, one of the most influential studies on the Mediterranean diet, showed that participants who consumed about 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil per day had significantly reduced risk of cardiovascular events compared to those on a low-fat diet. For testosterone support, you do not necessarily need that much. In most cases, 1 to 2 tablespoons per day is a practical and safe amount. Think of this as a baseline, not a magic number. It is enough to deliver antioxidants and monounsaturated fats without overloading your daily calories. Second, the type of olive oil is crucial. Not all bottles labeled olive oil are the same. Extra virgin olive oil is the least processed form, rich in polyphenols and antioxidants that provide the greatest health benefits. Regular or light olive oils are often refined, stripped of many beneficial compounds, and sometimes even mixed with cheaper oils. If your goal is to support hormones and reduce inflammation, extra virgin olive oil is what you want. Now let us talk about usage. Olive oil is versatile, but it has limitations. It has a lower smoke point than oils like avocado or coconut oil, which means it is best for low to medium heat cooking or added raw. For example, you can drizzle olive oil over roasted vegetables after they come out of the oven, stir it into lentils or beans, or mix it into a nighttime blend with antioxidant-rich foods like tomatoes, garlic, or leafy greens. Remember, many nutrients like vitamin K, vitamin E, and carotenoids are fat-soluble. Without a healthy fat, your body cannot absorb them effectively. Olive oil becomes the vehicle that drives those nutrients into your bloodstream. Here is a metaphor to help picture it. Imagine olive oil as the taxi driver for nutrients. Lycopene from tomatoes, lutein from spinach, or curcumin from turmeric are like passengers waiting on the sidewalk. On their own, they cannot reach the destination, your bloodstream. Olive oil provides the ride, ensuring they get where they need to go. Without the taxi, many of these compounds simply pass through the digestive system without ever being absorbed. Another practical point is timing. There is no perfect time of day to consume olive oil, but many people find adding it to their evening meal creates a calming effect, partly because fats slow digestion and stabilize blood sugar. For men over 50, pairing olive oil with foods like tomatoes or leafy greens at dinner may support both cardiovascular and hormonal health, and it is easy to make into a nightly habit. Here's the takeaway: do not drown your food in oil, but do not fear it either. A tablespoon or two of high-quality extra virgin olive oil each day used consistently can create a supportive environment for your hormones and your heart. Make it a daily ritual, drizzle, dip, or mix, and think of it as long-term support, not a quick fix. By now, it is clear that olive oil can play an important role in supporting testosterone and overall vitality. But let us pause and take a step back. No single food, supplement, or habit is enough to completely transform male health after 50. Olive oil is one piece of a larger puzzle, and when it is combined with other lifestyle strategies, the effects multiply. Here is what the research shows. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism highlighted that testosterone levels in men are strongly influenced by lifestyle factors such as physical activity, body composition, and sleep quality. For example, men who exercised regularly, particularly with resistance training, had higher baseline testosterone compared to sedentary men of the same age. Similarly, men who were overweight or obese often showed lower testosterone levels, in part because excess fat tissue converts testosterone into estrogen through a process called aromatization. This means that while olive oil can provide the raw material and the anti-inflammatory environment, you also need to support the entire system. Think of your body as a garden. Olive oil is the fertilizer. It enriches the soil, but if the garden does not get sunlight, water, or regular care, no amount of fertilizer will be enough. Exercise is the sunlight, sleep is the water, and stress management is the regular care. Together, they allow testosterone production to be sustained in a natural way. Another key factor is cardiovascular health. Erections, energy, and hormone balance all depend on strong blood flow. Even the most efficient Leydig cells in the testes cannot function without a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients. Research from the American Heart Association consistently shows that men with better vascular health tend to maintain stronger sexual function and hormonal stability. Olive oil supports circulation, but physical activity, walking, resistance training, and even yoga is what keeps the pipes clear and flexible. sleep also deserves special mention. During deep sleep, the brain releases luteinizing hormone, which signals the testes to produce testosterone. Men who sleep fewer than 5 hours per night can experience testosterone levels 10 to 15% lower than those who sleep 7 to 8 hours. Olive oil cannot replace sleep, but when included as part of a balanced evening meal, it may contribute to steadier blood sugar and a calmer nervous system, making sleep easier to achieve. Finally, stress plays a hidden role. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, a hormone that directly competes with testosterone. It is like two kids on a seesaw. When one goes up, the other goes down. Incorporating olive oil into a Mediterranean-style diet with fish, vegetables, legumes, and nuts is not just about nutrients. It is about creating a calmer, steadier physiology that resists the damaging effects of stress. Here is the practical message. Olive oil is powerful, but it is not a magic bullet. Think of it as a cornerstone habit, one that supports everything else you do for your health. Combine it with resistance exercise, regular walking, stress reduction techniques like meditation, and at least 7 hours of sleep. That is how men over 50 not only maintain testosterone, but also protect their hearts, their minds, and their sexual health well into later life. So tonight, when you mix olive oil into your meal, let it be more than just a condiment. Let it be a reminder that you are actively caring for your body and that true vitality comes from the synergy of many small, consistent habits working together. We have covered a lot of ground tonight. We began by looking at a common concern, declining testosterone and vitality in men over 50, and explored how something as simple as olive oil, when used correctly, can support hormone balance, cardiovascular health, and sexual function. We walked through the science of healthy fats, how they serve as the building blocks for testosterone, and why cutting all fat from the diet can actually do more harm than good. We then zoomed in on testicular health, understanding how olive oil's antioxidants protect Leydig cells from oxidative stress, much like a protective shield around the very factories that produce testosterone. We explored myths and facts about cholesterol, clarifying that it is not the villain it was once made out to be, but rather a neutral material that in the right environment becomes essential fuel for hormones. And we saw that olive oil is not just neutral, it actively protects cholesterol from oxidation and reduces inflammation in the blood vessels. We also got practical. We talked about how much olive oil is appropriate, usually 1 to 2 tablespoons per day, and why extra virgin olive oil is the gold standard. We learned how to use it wisely, pairing it with foods rich in antioxidants like tomatoes or leafy greens, and why timing it with your evening meal may offer calming benefits for digestion and sleep. But perhaps the most important lesson is this: olive oil is a piece of the puzzle, not the whole picture. Testosterone health, vitality, and sexual function are built on a foundation of consistent habits, nourishing food, movement, sleep, and stress management. Olive oil is the fertilizer for the soil, but the garden thrives only when it gets light, water, and care. Here is the one action I encourage you to take tonight. Choose one meal, just one, and replace processed oils or butter with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Pair it with something rich in antioxidants, maybe a simple tomato salad or steamed greens. Make this a nightly ritual. Over weeks and months, it will not only feed your hormones, but remind you that you are investing in your health with small, consistent choices. And remember this, you do not have to be afraid of your body. You do not have to be confused by conflicting advice. You just need good information and the willingness to apply it step by step. Low testosterone, fatigue, or declining performance are common, but they are not inevitable. They are manageable and in many cases reversible with the right approach. Stay curious, stay informed, and if you found this conversation helpful, subscribe to this channel for grounded, shame-free content that brings clarity where confusion has dominated for too long. I will see you in the next one.